And you're with Janine from the Real South Africa. We've now moved in Uganda. We're still on the Lamala property, but we have moved from Wild Waters a little bit up the hill to Adrift. Adrift Riverclub has got so many different options for accommodation. It has from camping right up to the glamping tents. So it's ideal for any family group, because it has all types of income, takes care of everyone, and it levels the playing fields. Not only at Adrift do you get the most amazing accommodation, but you also have different types of activities, from river rafting to bungee jumping and all kinds of things. And today I'm with the general manager, who's Dedan, and we're going to talk a little bit about Riverclub. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Janine.
So tell me a little bit about Riverclub.
So Riverclub is a fantastic place on the river banks of River Nile, and the views are fantastic from the
Spectacular
rooms.
Is the word.
Spectacular. Yeah. So you can always see the spectacular view from the room where you are sleeping. You wake up in the morning. The only sound which breaks you up is the birds, sounds of the birds, and the rapids from the river. Now, when you're in Riverclub, you forget about hustle and bustle in the town, because the only sound is very nature. There's a lot of nature. It's about you connecting with the nature, and that makes people really feel like they don't want to leave Riverclub once they come here. It's a spectacular place with a lot of kids activities. It's the only accommodation in Lamala where we allow kids as well to come. So we accommodate parents, kids, and there's a big swimming pool. The restaurant is fantastic because it's facing the river as well. So once you are here, you feel more than you feel at home. So
and as I say, it's the Lamala way. It's welcome. You are most welcome.
And then the staff are friendly, and again the community where we are based, we are situated in. I think we need more of the community than the community. I mean, we need the community more than they need us, because without community, Adrift would not be existing anymore, because we do a lot with the community. So most of our food you eat comes from the community. Now, the most selling item in Adrift Riverclub is whole fish. Now, this whole fish is being brought by the locals.
And is it tilapia?
Tilapia.
So tilapia, like Wild Waters, it is from the fishermen?
Yes.
And the fishermen bring it and you choose it?
We choose, we weigh, then chefs start doing the job, and then we give it to the guest when it is still fresh. So in an average per month, we sell about 41 dishes of tilapia. That's the only fish, the only item we sell most, because people can see. Fishermen always brings them to the Riverclub. We weigh them, then chef will always start doing the preparation. Within 3 hours, everything should be ready and fresh.
But you also have the opportunity to have a barbecue, because when you come off the river, there's a barbecue down where the bar area is on the other side of the bungee jump.
Yes.
And that's really, we had our first experience of Riverclub,
it
was the
really
barbecue.
Really
and they had fish, chicken and meat.
Yeah.
And I think out of them all, the fish was the best.
Fish is because people see the fish fishermen are bringing it fresh from the river, then we weigh them. Again, why fishermen prefer bringing fish into Adrift Riverclub is because we give them premium price. They, as opposed to them going for brokers, which pay them little money, we give them good premium price, then they bring. So everyone brings fish here. And the most amazing thing is about the local ladies, the women around here. They are thriving in that business, because if they get fish, the only place they think of first is always Adrift Riverclub. So we always do a lot of CSR, community social responsibilities.
Correct, yeah.
Which is really amazing. Besides that, we have farmers. This place produces most of the pineapples in the entire eastern central
In this area?
In this area. So all the fresh pineapples. We also they produce a lot of tomato. And they do a lot of fresh produce, which they bring every morning here. And
I think one of the nicest things about this particular area and the area of East Africa, known as Uganda, is the fact that your communities grow the vegetables specifically for sustainability towards the lodges and the hotels in the area.
Exactly.
It makes the food also so much fresher.
Exactly.
Because whereas in our country, which is South Africa, we have main roads and we have a lot of different, we have really good roads, but what happens is all of our good food gets exported. So it never really reaches us.
Yes.
So whereas here in Uganda, it goes from the farm to the table in reality.
Fresh.
It doesn't just come via a truck and a cold storage and somewhere else and via an aeroplane.
Yeah.
It really truly is farm to table.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you do practice.
Exactly. And besides that, there's a lot of activities this local community does with their farms. So we always do something called village walk.
Yes.
Where our guest comes. They want to see, to explore the community, what they do. And there's a lot of things they do into the community with their farms. Besides that, you will not believe it, they even do vanilla farming. They do coffee farming.
Wow.
They do pineapple, which is the most well known for this place. And that's why when you go to the nearest shopping center, we have trucks from all over East Africa. We have all the way from Congo, Southern Sudan, Rwanda, Kenya, Tanzania. They're all coming here to pick pineapple fresh from the farms.
That's
So it's
amazing.
Yeah, in the community.
So the community really thrives on being able to supply what grows best in the area.
Exactly.
And you grow avos here in this area as well, don't you?
Apples, yes.
Avocado pears.
Avocado. And again, what we do most is sometimes when community approaches us and we buy for them seedlings and we tell them how to plant this.
Oh, that's so
And
some
then-
training as well.
Yeah, so we do some training.
So
with
you're
them.
developing the community at the
Yes,
same time you're
exactly.
developing the lodge.
Thank you.
So when people visit the lodge,
Yeah.
they're really visiting a lodge that practices what it preaches. It's
Exactly,
sustainable.
exactly.
And it's also very community orientated.
A lot, 100%.
And the training for the staff is the same because
that's what we do.
the staff is all developed through the local
So
communities.
what happens in this community is, before this lodge was introduced to the community, many people never used to go to school. They just used to go to to do fishing, and you find some of them were not really exploring education as much because they were starting to fish while they were still young.
Correct.
So what we did is we started telling them that they need to take their kids to school, then we give them some employment opportunities into the area. And that has been amazing. All our staff are coming from the area.
And now they're starting to be educated,
Yes, very
which I think is very important in anyone's life. It doesn't matter what you choose to do later in life. Education such as reading and writing and maths or arithmetic is very important.
Very good.
Because you when you go to work, you need to be able to write or to read, and you need to be able to calculate your profits.
Exactly. So that's what we do basically. Then we also do a lot of community responsibilities. We bring for them electricity because some of these communities are very remote. So we've tried as much to bring electricity.
To bring solar.
to them, which is really amazing. Again, we go to schools and we do sanitary pads, the reusable sanitary pads,
Okay.
which has been fantastic. They've really, because many girls used to stop going to school when they were on periods, monthly periods.
And then they lose out on
And
those
they-
lessons.
Exactly. So that has really made them be very confident because now we are giving it to them as a donation from the lodge.
And that's really what community
It is,
development
it is.
is all about. It's getting involved.
It is very-
So well done to you.
Thank you.
So how do people find Adrift?
Is a big name. I mean,
It's www.adrift.ug.
Adrift, yes.
Of
Yes.
course, the Uganda.
Yes. Yes.
And they can call you because they can find you on the internet.
You can find it on internet. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok. We are now getting there because many people are now also referring these kind of social media platforms. But we are big on.
But the whole idea is to experience it for yourself.
Exactly. Just-
You can only sell a place that you've been to yourself.
Exactly. And we've seen the response is huge in Uganda and the entire East Africa with Adrift. Again, the other thing about Adrift, because we have big rooms and fantastic nature, we get a lot of corporates coming here to do their seminars,
Team building?
team buildings, which has been fantastically.
And of course, it's close to Kampala.
Yes, very close.
So when we fly in from South Africa, we fly into Entebbe, which is an hour's drive to Kampala. Once we've overnighted in Kampala, we can come straight here and spend our entire time here.
Yes, just 1.5 hours.
It's
from
just
Kampala.
amazing. We always talk in hours. Note, we don't talk in kilometers because they don't equate in Uganda.
Exactly.
Dedan, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time out to
And
talk
please
to me.
Enjoy your trip.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
Very friendly staff as well. I think
And I just loved the river rafting because I did river rafting with you before.
and also bungee jumping.
We did bungee jumping and we stayed a night with you.
Yes.
And it was incredible because it was all about sustain. The whole room was filled with notes about the water, about don't use plastic.
Yeah.
So very
Exactly.
key
Don't
on your
use plastic,
environmental
don't use
issues.
plastic. Yeah. And again, we've also teaching the community not to use plastic, and they've really accepted it. So they don't use plastics in the rivers anymore. Even
That's
though it's
amazing.
local.
Because you know what? When the plastic gets into the river, it gets into the fish,
Yeah.
and the microplastics then start to affect people down the river.
Exactly.
So well done to you.
Thank you.
Dedan, it's
Thank
been a
you so
pleasure.
much.
I'm Janine Preston of The Real South Africa with Dedan, the
Yeah.
General Manager of Adrift. And you with Janine from The Real South Africa. We're in Uganda at Adrift. And Adrift is part of the Lamala group, of which, believe it or not, is a South African group. So belongs to Tourvest, and very proudly South African that we are in Uganda. And as typical South African, we look after those who are less fortunate than us, and our hospitality does the same. And today I'm talking to Rebecca Phillips, who's going to tell us a little bit about her experience, as she is the person who looks after all the arts and crafts in all the lodges around Tanzania and as well as Uganda. And there's so many things behind the crafts that you buy. It's not normal. So it's not normal that you're going to buy something and not know the story behind it or the fact that there's a charity behind it. She also is in charge of guest experience. That was also very fascinating for me that you have both. Welcome.
Thank you very much. So yes, as you've just said, my name is Rebecca. I work for Lamala Camps in Lodges. I oversee guest experiences, but throughout that I also deal with our CSR projects, which is our corporate social responsibility, and curio shops. Now that does go hand in hand. Maybe that wouldn't be obvious at first, but we always try to make sure that as well as having beautiful items on our gift shop, we want to make sure that there's a deeper meaning behind it as well. So when you buy something, you're not just buying a beautiful object, but you're supporting a cause, an important cause. So here in Uganda, we make sure to support our local community and local artists. That's something that's very key to us, to make sure that we are supporting those around us, and to make sure that that we're supporting sustainable tourism. We want to make sure that having tourism in this community is benefiting the local communities.
Tell us a little bit about some of those. You were talking yesterday about the human trafficking victims. They were making items that you also sell here.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So we've got some beautiful jewellery on display here, which is part of a range. It's made by an organisation called Purpose, Wear Freedom, and they make this beautiful earrings and necklaces and bracelets. This is one of them just here. And what they do is they support victims who have escaped human trafficking. What often happens is when these girls have gone through these horrible experiences and return home to Uganda, they find that sadly that they've been outcast from their home communities. So reintegration back into their communities and back into a normal way of life can be a very difficult process for them. So this organisation, they go ahead and they create this very safe community where the young women can come back to. They start teaching them skills, so they help teach them how to make these different types of jewelries. They help create a business for them so that they can earn an income, and also just that helps them to slowly gain their confidence, their dignity, and just really help them to reintegrate back into society in a very safe way. So this is such an important project. And
So it's
such a
all
wonderful
about
thing to-
buying something because it supports somebody else. It doesn't
Exactly.
support the lodge.
No.
It supports the community.
Community.
And I think that's pretty key.
It is. And the same goes for, we've got some products here in our curio shops. We've got these beautiful handmade notebooks with the kitenga. This is made by local artists in our community, in our village just here, called Kasambia. And all proceeds from that go directly back to the village. We don't take any commission on it. That is charged at the price that they set it. Likewise, we have some beautiful clay animals that have been made by our local potter just next door. Again, we don't put any markup on it. It's exactly what the price that we sell is the price that he sets, and all proceeds go directly back to him.
And it's quite encouraging to see that the company really looks after its communities, because I think that really lends itself to why the community supports the lodge.
Absolutely.
Because I think in a lot of instances the lodges come in, take what they need and then move off.
Yes.
And whereas here, Lamala's here to stay,
Yes.
so they involve the community in as many aspects, and also for a safety of the guests.
Yes.
So, I think that in itself means that when I'm here, I feel very safe,
Yes.
because I don't think anybody's going to do anything to destroy the reputation of the company that feeds and looks after so much of their community.
Absolutely. So the majority of our workforce here are all hired from the local community. As much as possible, we always hire from the community. We do a lot of promotion from within. So we'll bring staff in on a low-skilled job, and then when we'll nurture them, we'll train them, and when we see potential, we do a lot of promotion within the company. So we have, so we're building the skills from within. So even though those skills might not be necessarily available at the start, it's something that we then very much nurture and build within the company.
And I think it also lends itself to watching how generations, because after our generation and the generation that's currently at the front desk, their children will come into the lodge and take over, and it's a whole skills transfer.
Absolutely.
Those are things that are really important to any lodge in any kind of village environment, because this is quite remote.
Yes.
So it needs to be supported by those around it.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about the guest experiences, and that side of your job is fascinating as well.
So at the end of our stay, we ask our clients to fill in a small feedback form, and then that information all gets put onto a centralized system, which I then access, and I then get to see the lovely comments that we get from our clients. And the majority of the time, clients are just absolutely blown away by the experiences they have here. The staff, the comment that we get over and over and over again is just how wonderful and warm the staff were, and how everyone just went out of their way to make them feel at home. But then I also, when we do have a negative comment that comes through, then it's something that I very much then have a look at. I go, so dig into it. I find out, was this a one-off? Was it something that, where we made a mistake? Is it something that we could have done better? Or was it that someone just came with a different expectation from what we could deliver on? I then also sort of keep records of these to see if there is a trend developing. So we want to make sure that if we do start to see a trend emerging of certain issues, that we can address it, and to make sure that we're always developing our services and our facilities to make sure that we are delivering what it is, what our clients are looking for.
And certainly what you offer. Because we've discovered that people have a tendency to think they're a reviewer.
Yes.
So when they put something negative online, they don't realize that negative comment never really goes away.
Yeah.
And it's not like, even though you fixed it, very few of them actually go up and say, thank you, it was sorted.
Yes.
They will be quick to complain, but very seldom are they quick to compliment or move on. So that must be difficult for you, because you kind of want them to say thank you for fixing it in public, because they posted the negative comment in public. So I think my message to people out there who think they're a reviewer, why don't you rather write to the management directly before you're putting it online? Give them the opportunity to fix it.
Yes.
If they don't fix it, then by all means do whatever it is you think is necessary. But you know what? You need to give the client, you need to give the hospitality, because at the end of the day, they support communities, they support their staff. And if you put a negative comment, it means fewer people will visit because they will accept your negative comment as the truth.
Yes.
When in a lot of times it was a mistake because we're all human. The housekeeper wasn't feeling well. You arrived and you were grumpy because you had a flat tire along the way. So you have to look at the extenuating circumstances around which that complaint is made. So pick it up with the management first.
Absolutely, I would thoroughly agree with you there, and would like to reiterate that if you do have an experience during your stay that isn't up to your expectations, please do take it up. Bring it up to our managers. We've got wonderful staff on site. We've got excellent managers on site, and they will absolutely go out of their way to try and resolve the issue for you. So rather than, if something happens, rather than just keeping silent and then writing a bad review at the end of your stay, please do let us know while you're on site.
And just improve your stay while you're here.
Exactly.
I mean, good heavens, you've paid to be here.
Yes, we would love to do something to make up for that experience that wasn't to your expectations. Again, there's a lot of the times there's a lot that we can do to resolve situations on site. So please do let us know if there was something that wasn't to your expectation, so that we can try and help before, while you're still around.
And while you're still here, you have access to the general manager if you want to go really to the top, because maybe the gardener didn't sweep the front of your glamping tent, heaven forbid, and you need to. I mean, the general manager is here, so go and find him. He's very approachable, and in all instances, I must say, at all Lamala lodges, they are always very available. Yes. I think they should start a school for general managers because they have this willingness to be involved in whoever's at the property. It doesn't matter who you are, he will come up and greet you, or he or she will come up and greet you. And you're always surprised to say, are you the general manager? Is this like your job? And it's like, yes, because I need to know that all my customers, it's because of them that I have this job.
Yes.
I wouldn't be a general manager if I had no staff and I had no customers.
Exactly. Here we call it the spirit of Lamala, and it's so, don't be surprised if the general manager ends up, serving you dinner or brings you a drink. Very much the attitude is that, we're all here, we're all working as a team. There's nothing that's, no one's above doing anything. We are all very much here to help and make sure that the guest experience is the best that it can be.
And I think that's one of the things that most people who complain, they will either think that this means they're going to get a huge discount or they're going to get a free offer to come back. It doesn't work like that. If you have a complaint, it needs to be resolved, but it doesn't mean to say that you're going to automatically get a free stay. And I think that comes from influencers and people who write about how they travel free around the world.
Yes.
That is like 1/1,000,000%, whereas the other 17 billion people who travel don't get that opportunity. So it's a very misleading, for me it's misleading on social media and places like YouTube, where they put out this false impression that if you bring something to someone's attention, hey, guess what, guys, you'll get a free night.
Yes.
It doesn't work like that. When you have something wrong with your cooker at home, or you have something wrong with a dress that you bought, and you take it back and they exchange it, they don't automatically give you another dress and say, now that you brought this one back, can we give you 3 more? And it's very much the same with hospitality.
Yes.
And I think all hospitality venues have the willingness to want their customers to come back.
Absolutely.
They want to have a repeat experience. So if you have a bad experience and they don't tell you about it on site, you can't fix it.
No.
Now you have to try and fix it via email and all kinds of things. And that's where the challenge for a hospitality venue, and I'm really pleased that they have someone like yourself actually in charge of that job. So in other words, it's your ultimate responsibility to make sure that the client comes back, but comes back happy no matter what.
So we also, the size of our lodges, that we're not massive lodges. Here at Riverclub we have 10 rooms plus 6 garden rooms, so 16 rooms. We're not so there is that scope for that individual service. There is that scope for that one-on-one interaction, which you can't have when you have a massive 100-story, 100-room hotel or something. Here we are small, we are boutique, and that gives us that scope to to spend the time, and that's why we really encourage that that.
And ask
insight.
questions
Yes.
before you get here.
Yes.
So if you want to know if you have a disability room,
Yes.
just say, do you have the access for wheelchairs?
Yes.
And I think that for me is always the biggest bugbear, because my mom and dad were in wheelchairs. And we would phone a venue and say, do you have a disability room? And their answer would be yes. What they didn't tell you was it's going to take you 6 staircases, 4 driveways, 3 goodness knows what else to get to that room.
Yes.
So it meant that once we were there, they would be locked in unless there was 7 people to carry out the wheelchair and carry it. So if you want to know, so we started to learn to ask the right questions.
Yes.
Are we able to get to the room from the car park without having to lift the wheelchair over X number of lips, if you like?
Yes.
And the venue started to learn that being in a wheelchair means that you have your experience from the car to the reception desk to the room.
Yeah.
Because they were learning just as much as we were.
Absolutely.
So every time we got to a venue that we found that they had said they were wheelchair friendly, we would point out that actually being wheelchair friendly and accepting a wheelchair is 2 completely different things, because the car park would be at a 90-degree angle. So even though you got my mom out the car in the 90 degrees, we had to make sure that she didn't roll backwards into the main road.
Yes.
So it was trying to hold the door, get the wheelchair out, all of those things. And we'd say, guys, you can't put a wheelchair parking on a 90-degree slope.
No.
And they'd go, but there was so much space there. And I go, well, that's not the point. You need somebody with a wheelchair to come and test your venue.
Absolutely.
And say, okay, before we announce that we are wheelchair friendly, we are going to get somebody invited to say, please, would you test our facilities and tell us if we really can invite somebody with a wheelchair.
Exactly, and that's why we're so open to our guest feedback. As I said, we know that we can continue to improve, and so just as you example there, there's certain things that you might think you've catered to, but actually when you have someone that comes and has those special requirements, then you realize, okay, you didn't think all the steps through. So that's where we really do welcome that feedback, because it is something.
And the questions ahead of time. Ask me if we're kosher.
Yes.
And we'll tell you we're not.
Yes.
So don't get here and go, oh, but you aren't kosher.
Yes.
No, we don't have a kosher kitchen.
Yes.
In Johannesburg, we have Sky Hotels, and they specifically say they outsource their kosher and halal meals.
Yes.
They do not have a kosher kitchen.
Yes.
So when you phone ahead of time and say we are kosher, they tell you, this is our kosher kitchen we buy from.
Yes.
The person who's coming in usually knows of that kitchen.
Yes.
So very much the same as dietary requirements.
Yes.
Ask ahead of time.
Yes.
Say, can I bring my own meal if you are not a kosher kitchen?
Yes.
If you don't ask the questions, how the hell is the lodge supposed to know? They don't know your race or your religion or anything that goes around that.
Yes.
Those are things that I think will always enhance your guest experience.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the spirit of Lamala has been amazing. I mean, I never visit somewhere twice. This is my second visit. And I did the bungee jump yesterday, which was great. In fact, I think Isaac, who was he was the bungee master.
Yes.
I think you should go for it. You should get him to teach people how to do PR, because he got me to jump. So I think he's definitely one of your PR moments.
Absolutely. You'll find that with so many of our staff, that they are so enthusiastic about what they do. They are so passionate about what they do.
And I mean, I must have been the 100th and millionth person who jumped, yet you would swear I was the first. So well done to the work that you've done, especially as guest experience. I'm sure that's a challenging job sometimes.
Thank you very much.
And where do they reach you if there's questions clients need to ask before they get here? How do they go about that? Is it on the website?
Do reach out to us through our website, you'll find our mobile numbers, our contact numbers for the front desk. Our reservations team is very keen to get in contact and discuss things. If there's questions that they're not sure about, there's a number of people within our team that they can refer it on to, and we're all very much keen to work together. There's a lot of teamwork to make sure that we can resolve if there's certain issues or special requests. We all very much work together as a team to
And do you have, before we go,
Yeah.
I have to ask a question that just popped into my head. Do you have a loyalty program since you have so many lodges and in Tanzania and Uganda? Is there a loyalty program that if I attend one lodge, I can get loyalty points and eventually I collect X amount number of points for a meal or something like
We
that?
don't currently have a loyalty program, but we do have various offers. So you'll see some of our offers will say, if you stay X amount of
Oh, that's
nights,
awesome. You get an
then
extra
you get
night.
An extra night.
That's perfect.
So, yes,
Nice one.
Do ask our reservations team about our special offers.
And what is the website?
It's www.lamalacamps.com.
.com. Thank you so much, Rebecca
Most
Phillips.
welcome.
It was so nice to chat to you. I'm Janine Preston of The Real South Africa in Adrift in Uganda. And you're with Janine from The Real South Africa, and we've just done a community walk here in Kalagala, which is one of the activities that is offered by Adrift. It's actually awesome because you get to see how the other half live. And you get to understand a little bit about why communities like Adrift support their local communities. Because without their local communities, they also don't have a great venue because their staff come from the community, and unless they understand where the community that they staff with comes from, they don't really understand how to treat their staff or why their staff have certain behavior patterns. So I'm very fortunate that we had a wonderful guide. And I've forgotten your name already.
Jonah.
Jonah.
Yeah.
And he took us around the village and he told us so many things about sesames and about vanilla pods and about coffee beans and pineapples. And I asked him questions about dogs and goats because they have a lot of goats. So quite an interesting walk through the village. So do you come from this village?
Of course, I do.
And tell me a little bit about the village and yourself.
So, about the village, the village is having a population of 3,000 people. So those are the people who are living within the community. So, it's being led by a council of leaders called a chairman. It's being elected by community members. So they give these community leaders a term basis, either 10 years or 5 years, depending how they are working. If they are working well, they are in good terms with the community members, we proceed with that relationship. For me, I grew up within this community. I was raised from this community. I know most of the community members. So the moment I get clients, let them be aware that they are in safe hands, because I know most of the community members. I know where I should start from. I know this one is misbehaving. I know this one is with good terms. So I feel good because I come from within the community and I was born within this community. So the interesting thing within the community that you come to meet community members who grow coffee but they have never tasted coffee.
Wow.
Yeah. And if they have got a chance of tasting coffee, the coffee they take is totally different from what they call Mzungu coffee. So you're having what they call Mzungu coffee is totally different. So if you get a chance of going to the processing machine, also that processing machine will separate the coffee beans from those ones which the one which are harvested when they are ripe or they are ready. So their beans is supposed to turn brown like your skin. So those beans which are harvested when we are premature, the beans turn black like my skin. Also their taste differently. So if you happen to taste the coffee beans the coffee from those beans which are premature, their coffee is totally black and it's sour. Same the other coffee for those beans which are ready. So their beans are brown and their coffee tastes very nice. So that's the difference. So if you ask most of the community members, have you ever tasted the coffee? They will ask you, they will answer in blue. What do you know? Tea leaves. That's the thing we grew up taking. But also for me, I've started taking coffee when I've got a chance of starting working with it. But I need to know coffee.
So is that why coffee is so expensive?
Yeah, It's so expensive.
Because it takes, the process of growing it is a long time, and there's a process along the coffee route.
Yeah.
Is
Also-
Uganda known as one of the coffee suppliers in the world?
Yeah. Not only in Uganda, we're having some areas which are the leading producers of coffee. For instance, if you happen to pay a visit in Masaka, those sides of Masaka, it's in part of central Uganda, but those guys, for them, they are producing coffee at large quantities. But here in central region, plus we are concentrating, we are having since we are having many tribes. I think in the region where we are, central region, I think most of the tribes, I think I'm quite sure 70% of the tribes which are found in Uganda can be found within this area. So we have been encroached by many tribes. So we grow different crops, and even in Uganda, some regions, every region has its stable crop they concentrate on. But in the central region, we grow most of the crops. So the reason why we grow most of the crops is because of the heavy rainfall we receive that year, and also the fertile soils. That's why most of the crops can do well within the central region.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you know that there's a coffee festival
No.
in October?
No.
The Uganda Coffee Festival is held in October.
Oh, I was not.
And it's I'm not sure where in Uganda it is, but I'll send you the details.
Okay.
I met them at one of the conferences that I attended. I saw the Uganda Coffee Festival is going to be in October. And I think that's quite amazing because they're obviously trying to encourage coffee products, coffee byproducts, and obviously Uganda coffee. So I think that's something that you can definitely consider.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about the tour. What do we see when we're on the tour? Because we've just been on the tour, so we saw we saw somebody who made pots. The weaver was at he wasn't here, he was at a funeral.
Yeah.
So it's really about just going through the village and understanding a little bit more about where you come from.
Yeah, normally, as we are beginning this program, the session, we designed this program according to someone's preference. So that's why we first ask, because there are some clients may be having some areas of specialization that I want to see coffee, I want to see pottery. So that's why we first ask them, what do you want to see within the community? So we designed this program according to someone who studied. So we start by asking each other, where do you want to go or what do you want to see? So you may find a category for them when they want to see a school, hospital, or pottery, or plantation. So that's why we first ask them. So the moment you discover that they're having different views, you have to cater for all of them.
And what does it cost to do the tour?
Normally, so the first thing, you have to pay. Payment.
Because the money goes to the village.
Community.
Correct.
So after paying the $10, so we brief you. You have to be with drinking water because you will not ask drinking water from the community. So after paying, then you carry drinking water. Also, what we call muzungu cream or sunscreen.
Sunscreen because
Yeah.
you're walking.
Yeah.
You don't drive. You walk.
Yeah. It's a community walk.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a community walk. So we do this activity in 2 times, early in the morning at around 9 or late in the evening at around 5.
Because of the weather.
Yeah.
And in the rainy weather?
Normally in the rainy weather, we are being assisted by the umbrellas.
Okay.
Umbrellas. Just get umbrellas, then we run.
The umbrellas help.
Yeah. So we have some options.
And how long does it take?
So normally this program has been designed for 2 hours.
Okay.
2 hours, then we are back here.
And like we did, we went to see the pineapples, and you explain how pineapples grow, where the vanilla pods come from, how the schools work. So it was a very interesting walk for us because we were able to understand a little bit more about why Adrift and the hotels in the area support their communities.
Yeah. So this activity is the community walk. It's soon making the 3rd year, so it's new. But in the future, the community will benefit because we are the founders of the community walk.
Okay.
Yeah, we are the founders. But very soon, things are trying to. If so, we are seeing a change. So we are requesting for some guests to pay a visit to the community. They will interact with the community.
And
We
make
have
sure
been-
you do it when you're here.
Yeah.
And as a group, it's always good.
Yeah.
And remember to take sweeties for the little ones.
Because I know that's where I spend most of my time. So the moment I take these prizes, also they'll be very eager next time to welcome me.
To welcome you, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm Janine Preston, and you've been with the Real South Africa on our community walk.
Okay.
Hey William, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Oh, good. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do.
What I'm doing right now, I'm trying to knead the clay, making it soft so that I may try something on the field. About the general pottery, we do African pottery based on Asian techniques like burnishing, that is, we don't glaze the products. We also do smoke, like those barrels, little barrels are smoked. We also do patterns. The red colors are from anthill soil.
So you do it from active soil?
Yes. We have just delivered 100 of those barrels and dinner plates. There was a wedding on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
They used specific products from here. Nothing was from abroad.
Wow.
So now I'm going to try something here.
And where did you learn your skill?
From the grandmother.
And she taught you how to make pottery?
It's right from childhood we could stay with her
Uh-huh.
while the mothers had gone for work.
Okay.
So we grew up trying.
That's pretty much Africa.
Yes. Actually, my mother happened to give birth to me when she was still a child.
Oh my word.
So she had to live with the granny. I learned a lot from her.
Okay.
This turning wheel, have you made it yourself or have you bought this?
I beg your pardon?
Did you make the wheel yourself?
The field we had wanted to order one from England, but the taxes were so high that we're almost equivalent to the price of the machine. So we copied it from the net, sketched and took to the welder.
Amazing.
It's just Africa.
Yeah.
And you know what? You should get one of the visitors who come and visit to bring the machine out with them.
I beg your pardon?
Get a visitor to bring the machine with them when they come from England.
I haven't been so much concerned because now my target was at production because we have one. Actually, my dream is to get a second one of this kind because it is simple.
And it doesn't matter if the electricity doesn't work.
It doesn't matter. And for the benefit of the people I'm training, it's something they see that they can get it from within the environment and carry on production.
And that way you can sell your goods online as well. And are you currently making something on order? Or do you just make what you think is going to sell?
I have a heap of orders.
So you have a heap of orders.
Yes. I've just accomplished one with 200 plates. Actually, 100 dinner plates and 100 boils.
That's wonderful news.
That one was accomplished on Sunday. This is supposed to be a pot with two outlets. We have 5 of them. We also have somebody has ordered from cooking pots.
And have you got, where do you get your clay?
We have swamps around rich good clay.
So they have good clay.
Yes.
So it's not from the river.
Not even by the riverside, there are corners where deposits are. You can easily.
And you know what clay to look for.
Yes.
That's very good.
And the reds that you use,
The red for decoration
is that also a different soil?
it's the ant hills.
The anthills.
Yes, just get the anthill soil, soak it in the water.
Oh my word.
Then when you get the soup, there is a little substance called ruler flax. It draws all the silt down, then you have a very neat color.
Okay.
So we do it in African ways.
Yes. At first I was doing both, but whenever I could go for exhibitions with glazed products and our national products, I could only sell the unglazed products.
Okay, so people
So-
can decorate them themselves.
So I concentrated on what was needed. But later I also had to follow my roots because I didn't have to promote other cultures.
Okay.
There is a book I used to read. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. It was talking about somebody's roots and how you can choose business. It helped me so much and how to set myself.
That's great news. And did you finish school?
Yes, I'm a graduate.
So you're a graduate. That's awesome.
I'm a teacher by profession.
So you're a teacher.
And I'm a teacher, but I don't do
Very nice.
classes.
But you can teach pottery.
I would teach, but there is no time for teaching.
Well, that's good news to hear that you have no time. I'm Janine from
But-
the Real South Africa
But
at
still, I influence the education system. We have designed the curriculum for vocations, that is pottery. Is now part of what they study in vocations. That was 2014. And the 2022, they have designed a new curriculum in secondary schools, and the pottery part of it was designed by me.
Well done. That is so cool. I've been with William at the Cultural Village here in Jinja, Kangulamira. Well, there you go. I knew how to pronounce that.
Kayunga district.
Kayunga district. And that's our guide who's been taking us around the village on our village tour. And we've been with William learning how to make pottery and certainly seeing how a manual pottery system works. I'm Janine from the Real South Africa. And you're with Janine from the Real South Africa. And today I have the most amazing experience waiting for me. I have always wanted to taste the Ugandan favorite called a Rolex. And no, it's not a watch. It's not an expensive watch. It is, in fact, it is a food style. And the food style, it's almost like a chapati rolled pancake, got things inside it. And today we're going to watch it actually being made. And with me today I have Robson and Swali. And they're going to show me, they are the chefs at Adrift. And I've convinced them to show me how a Rolex is made. So tell me a little bit about what you're about to make.
We are going to make a Rolex style we make it here in Uganda. So here I'm going to grate my carrots, fresh red carrot, red onions. I grate the carrots. Then I put in some warm water with some little olive oil, and then I make my chapati dough before I fry it.
So we're also going to learn how to make a chapati,
Yes.
which
so,
is awesome.
Yeah. So chapati, for a good chapati, if you mix your dough, can leave it for some time for it to incorporate well with the ingredients that you put in the chapati. Then you fry it. After some time, you mix the dough, cover it well. After some time, is when you can have a good dough for the chapati.
And what kind of dough do you use? What kind of flour?
We use the zam flour here, very common in our market. Very common in our market here. As you can see, it has been approved by Uganda National Bureau of Standards for the use.
And it's just baking flour.
Just baking.
Is it self-raising or
No, this is a
cake flour, normal cake flour?
yeah.
Bread flour,
Bread
as we
flour.
would know it.
Ordinary bread flour. So why you break the carrots so that we continue?
So while we're doing all the carrots and things like that, what does a Rolex have in it? It has grated carrots, grated onions, and
For a Rolex to be fully called a Rolex, it must have a chapati, it must have a egg inside it, rolled inside it. But the way we do it here in Uganda mostly, our egg, the eggs, you make like Spanish omelette, Spanish egg, green peppers, onions and tomatoes. Fry your egg. When the egg is ready, the omelette is ready, you put chapati on top of it and
oh
you
my
roll,
goodness!
and you roll. Egg must be inside the chapati. That's where they got the name Rolex. Because the egg is rolled
Inside the chapati.
Inside the chapati.
Oh, that's awesome! I can't wait to see this happen.
So just let's finish here.
And tell me a little bit about Benson. And Benson, wow, I've got Benson on my head when it says Robson. So Robson, tell me a little bit about your background.
My background.
Your background as a chef. You've become a chef. Tell me a little bit about you becoming a chef.
Me becoming a chef, it was about, I look at what one can be amused when he has a good meal. So I desire pleasing. From there, that's when, way back in the day, then I finished other courses, but because I used to admire a lot cooking and now pleasing people by just a simple hearty food, I went back and started eating better. So I started it from the root cause. I right now call myself a good chef because it's been a long journey. I started from my intern. I was detained in the hotel where I did my intern from. So from pantry, after sometimes my bosses who are my bosses in the kitchen. So the interest I have and they promoted me to become a chef. From there, after sometimes is when I joined Adrift. I realized that I've been to the best company I can work with. So I'm very comfortable here. I'm moving in my journey.
And this is your office.
Yes, this is my office. I'm actually the team in this kitchen.
And you are the sous chef.
This one is a pastry chef.
That is, he obviously trusts you as well.
That's why.
And that's awesome. So what's next?
I'm finished to grate the onions and
We are going
carrots.
to put it together with warm water. Put it in warm water. This is warm water. And this is warm water. Put in our onion, carrots, olive oil, a little salt, bring some salt.
And is this for the chapati that you...
This is for the chapati.
So we haven't even got to the filling yet.
We have not.
This is only for the chapati.
Only
This is
for-
interesting. Why did you put carrots and onions in the chapati?
Onion is a good flavor. Onion brings very good flavor. Onions and carrot also when you are cooking.
And do you buy your carrots and onions locally
From the local market.
from the local markets? And do you go to the local market every day to go and source goods, or do you go every couple of days to go and see what's
We
there?
do our shopping twice.
So you do your shopping twice a week.
Yeah, twice.
You go and see what they've got. Do you guide your community on what to grow?
We have a lot that we buy from the community, like avocado, because the system here where we support.
Oh, your avocado is just the best. I even had mine in my Rolex last night.
Avocado.
I said you have to put avo in my Rolex.
Also, please,
Your fish is really good. Your pineapples are amazing.
Thank you so much. Our fish white is very fresh. It is
Because you get it from the fishermen,
from the fishermen, from the local
from the guys who fish in the Nile. Because you have the tilapia and the Nile perch.
and the Nile birds. So the fishermen, this is our entry for the fishermen.
Okay.
For the non-kitchen staff. The other entry is for the service staff. So with the fishermen, when they come, this is where
They come and they wash it in the...
they wash their fish.
And you decide on what size you want and how many you
We
want.
have a weighing scale there,
So you have a scale and you pay them per kilo.
per kilo.
Okay.
They already know what we want. They bring already what
They bring what you want. And that makes sense. So it saves them a trip and it makes it easier for you.
Yes.
Then salt is here.
So we put some
We
salt.
put some little salt for the quickness. Then there we sieve our here. In case there is a factory mistake inside here, you
Yes.
sieve it because you can't trust. So you sieve your flour.
And how do you know how much flour to put in?
We use the measurement, but since we have taken long, you know when you do something every day, you can know, but the proper way of doing it, you have to do the measurement. But since we do it every day...
Since you do it, you have an idea of how much to put in.
You can just tell.
It's done the African way.
Yes,
It does what works for you.
yes. You can mix it so that it will be fire. Mix, put the fire.
After this, then we add the flour.
So you add some more flour. And this is the way that they make the chapati. And it's the first step in the making of a Rolex, is because you need to prepare the chapati to be able to put it into the... do you put it into an oven or do you just let it rise? You put it on a frying pan. Okay, so as soon as it's done, it goes on a frying pan. Okay, so that we're going to move over that side to have a look. I want to see how the flour must look. So it does a bit like naan bread, where you put the naan bread on the sides of the oven. What do you call it? You know, when that Indian flatbread,
The
they
naan.
also cook it on, yes.
On naan,
Yes,
like the Indian chapati.
correct.
Just like that, just like that.
So now do you roll it out with your hands? And is it approximately how many chapati does this make?
Like this one can make around
4 chapati or 5 chapati.
4 or 5 of them?
Yeah.
So it does make quite a few for half a packet of flour?
for a packet of flour.
Yes. How many do you get out of a packet of flour?
It can be around 35 chapati.
That's really good value, because that also means that people who don't earn a lot of money can still eat well because the Rolex works.
Yes,
And who came up with the name Rolex?
that is the origin. That is the origin because egg is rolled inside the chapati.
Okay, so that's the origin. So have you been a chef for a long time?
This is my 14 years now.
So 14 years. And how many years at Adrift?
Actually, I'm making 6 years.
So you've been here from the beginning?
Not from the beginning. I joined it after I've been doing
Okay.
some other hotel.
Oh, that's awesome. Also in the Jinja area?
In the capital.
So are you from the community?
No, not from
So you're from Kampala?
Yeah, from Kampala. It's great.
And where are you from?
Me from here.
You're from around here?
Yeah.
You're a local. So have you moved your family here now?
Yeah.
So now you're a part of the community.
I'm a part of it.
There you go. You see, that's all that matters. And do you come up with new recipes all the time for the guests, or do you stick to the same menu, or where do you get new recipe ideas from?
Our new recipes, we first, we as a team, there is a way we can come up with the recipes. When we want to make a new recipe, we first do something as a team, we test it, and then also we have our managers. We call them to have a test before we can.
Okay.
So by the time it is reaching the guest, it has been approved by our
By your management team and by the team that...
and experts.
Okay.
Then they recommended now this is good for us.
And do you cook for different people from around the world? So
Yes.
if somebody comes along and says, I'm German and I want you to cook some German food, are you able to do that?
Yes.
So that must be quite exciting when somebody wants something different to eat.
No, even the company itself, they normally bring for us trainers from all over the world.
From all over the world to come and teach you.
Recently, we had an executive chef who was with us here. He had been working in Japan.
Oh my word, my son is currently in Japan and the food there is amazing. So I hope you get to travel to Japan. Because you know in Uganda they have Chef Olympics. And you must look online. There's a Chef Olympic, like an Olympic once a year.
Online.
And Uganda does very well. You enter and they choose the chefs from here and you go to another country and then you compete against other chefs and then there's a winner. So you must look online. It's called the Chef Olympiad or something like that.
Yeah,
I wrote about it recently.
I'm going to search for it.
So you must go and have a look for it. And I think it's on again shortly, soon. There's a culinary school in Uganda that sent one of their guys last year, and I think he came third.
Okay.
So you see, you Ugandan chefs are good. And that way you meet other chefs from other countries and you can compete where you learn things from them, and it's nice to be in an environment where you talk to others.
Yeah. Because the thing of cooking, you can't finish it.
Chapati is ready?
So chapati's ready.
Chapati, the dough is ready. We are now going to fry chapati.
Okay, so let's go and fry it. And the pan must be hot.
That pan must be hot. So that I will set it.
And do you put any oil or butter or anything on the pan
We just use a little cooking oil on the pan to grill the
to
chapati.
not make sure it doesn't stick?
Yeah, it doesn't stick to them.
So it's a very healthy way of eating.
Yes.
It's healthy to eat a Rolex and chapati is healthy.
Yeah,
Because
it's-
judging by the way you've made it, it's healthy.
Yeah, it's healthy. Like the one you had yesterday at the work.
Okay, like we had yesterday with my avocado pear. My Rolex was different. I had avocado pear.
Let me get it.
So you roll it out and then you put them in a spiral. Why do you do that?
Sorry?
Why do you roll it out and then put it in a spiral?
No, you just want to get a good shape.
A good shape.
A good shape and a good texture.
Okay. So you chopping up
This is green pepper and onions and tomatoes.
tomato.
These are the common local ingredients here in Uganda. So you just chop it in small dice like
Yes.
for your egg, for the egg.
Okay.
Let me put inside the roll. So let me get the egg here, some little salt and black.
And we're making the inside of the
the
chapati.
inside of the chapati.
Okay.
Sika.
So we're now beating the egg.
Yeah. Sorry, do you have salt? A little salt. Pinch of salt.
Literally a pinch of salt.
Pinch of salt. Add some little black pepper to taste.
And do you ever put any chilies in?
No, chili we do it on when someone asks for it.
When somebody asks for
Because
chili.
everybody likes it.
Does a Rolex have chili or not traditionally?
No, it doesn't. Whisking it.
So it's like a scrambled egg with peppers and tomatoes. So we've rolled out the chapati, and it's nice and flat. And it's ready to be cooked.
Yeah.
And how do you know when it's cooked?
You can feel it from my hand. Yeah, when the heat can go from the other
I was going to say when you burn your hands.
side.
Because I would burn my hands, wouldn't I?
Some people would prefer having a and they press it like
Oh, I see. So they have the paper from the bag.
from the chapati from the flour. And then they make it like this. Flatten it and then use it for folding.
And now you can see it's starting to bubble.
And the other side is ready. There you can now put a little olive oil, We use now oil, cooking oil is becoming a problem, a disease to everyone. So we use a little olive oil.
So olive oil works better than cooking oil.
It's healthy.
It's healthier. But doesn't olive oil when it heats up be the same as cooking oil when it heats up?
Yes, they're the same.
Ah, so you can see it's cooked.
Our chapati is ready. I can rest it aside, make it inside. Stop it off.
So now it gets rested and then you make the egg.
Yeah. Rest it, put it in the make the egg.
Perfect size for the plate.
Yeah.
And then do you use the same pan to cook the egg?
Yes. Just the egg once needs gentle fire. Let it use.
Very similar to an omelette.
Sorry?
Similar to an omelette. It's almost like an omelette, isn't it?
Yeah, it is omelette. You just make an omelette. It's actually an omelette that you fold it apart that eventually become a roll. Just an omelette.
So it's a Spanish omelette, really.
Basically Spanish omelette.
And then once the Spanish omelette is done,
Then you roll it inside the chapati.
so it must stay flat. It mustn't turn into scrambled egg.
Not really scrambled egg. Omelette.
My omelets always turn into scrambled egg.
When you're making,
I'm
the
terrible
problem-
with omelets.
The problem comes from the pan, from the frying pan. Now, if I was using this, I would flip, but this one doesn't have an angle.
Okay. So you can't flip this one.
You can't flip it.
But it's okay if it has holes in it.
This is how I made you access. Here, okay, a little bit, go inside to get ready, then
And it's rolling into a Rolex. This is so exciting. And the Rolex is ready. That is amazing.
thank you.
Now let's cut it open and look inside.
All right. Let a green board. Now your gloves, sir. I'm numbering them. Okay, gloves.
And now comes the presentation.
Yes, presentation now. And also, with the ready food, when you are plating, you must be on gloves. When something is now ready, you are plating it to be eaten. That's why it's part of put on this.
Okay, so now we cut and we serve. And let us look inside. And that, my friend, is a Rolex. Served beautifully on a plate in the spirit of Lamala. Thank you so much. Thank you for spending the morning with me, and thank you for showing me how to do a Rolex. It was just amazing. Robson, it's been such a pleasure.
You're most welcome.
I'm Janine Preston, the real South Africa, and I've spent time with the chefs at Adrift at near Jinja, and they've been just amazing. Thank you for that, and thank you for sharing the recipe for Rolex.
Thank you for having you. Thank you for your advice about the competition of chefs. We didn't know about this as a team.
And I hope to see you in the first position, eh?
Yes, I'm going to share
Okay.
it with the team and we'll see what we can do.
Well done. Janine from the real South Africa. I'm in one of Africa's most beautiful spots in Uganda, near the source of the Nile, in a place called Jinja, and of course it's a venue called Adrift. Adrift is the perfect place for South Africans to visit because it has all types of accommodation, from camping to glamping. It has all the activities you could possibly wish for. And one of the people responsible for keeping the grounds absolutely beautiful, you can see in the background the swimming pool is just gorgeously blue in the middle of all this greenery, and trust me, it rains a lot in Uganda. And Benson has been in charge of the gardens. Hello Benson, how are you?
I'm good, madam. How are you?
I'm good. So tell me a little bit about how hard it must be, because you guys have 2 rainy seasons every year because you're on the equator, right?
Right. This is like when it's come to rain season, sunny season, we experience too much shedding off of the leaves. So we are ready to manage that. We have to maintain the compound clean and planting flowers so that even if it is shiny,
There's flowers.
Yeah, we maintain the beauty. We cannot lose control for losing that beauty, even if it is shiny. Because if it is shiny, we lose some plants by sunshine. But we keep that spirit to maintain the beauty, because it's the place which attracts different guests from different countries, from outside Uganda and the other areas. So we keep that spirit so that we keep attracting other guests to come. So why we keep always water, even if it's in rainy season, it's always sunny season. Always do that so that we keep the place clear.
And tell me a little bit about the lawn. How on earth do you keep the lawn mowed?
What?
The grass. How do you keep the grass so?
We have different machines which help us in that area, like a lawnmower and the grass cutter. We also have them, the slashers where needed, but most especially we use those lawnmowers to keep the grass on the desired level.
And how do you avoid all the spiders and there's a few snakes around here? My goodness, aren't you scared of that?
We are not scared because we have knowledge about them. We know how they behave somehow. So we are now, I can say that we are friendly to them, and they are friendly to us. And other ways they cannot affect us if we don't affect them.
And that's pretty good, because that makes you sort of so knowledgeable about the botanical, sort of the botany in the area, the fauna, the flora. It's one of those things which surprises us about how much you know. Did you go to varsity to learn all that, or was it just knowledge that you grew up with?
Right, it is just knowledge and self-confidence. You know, even if you go and study, there are some people who are cowards about those creatures. But there is someone who is gifted and is capable for dealing with such creatures.
Absolutely, because you must know more than most people, because you're a gardener in an unusual, I mean, this is unusual circumstances, because you have a forest behind you. In our, my tent, if you like, my glamping pod, is in the middle of a forest. And yet here I am in a normal garden scenario. So you have to know a lot about both types of areas.
Yes, like snakes. And there's some I also actually used to study those botanical things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like snakes, how they behave, and the other creature like those snakes, frogs.
Do you have a lot of frogs here as well?
Many of them.
Oh my word, do they jump in the pool?
They also jump in the pool. They go by the forest, deep there in the forest, and even we are near the water bodies.
That's
So
correct,
they
yeah,
also
because of the
enjoy
Nile.
that life.
Oh my word.
Yeah, those life are for those creatures. So we are full of different creatures, monkeys, dogs.
You have the red-tailed monkeys here, don't you?
Monkeys we have, but there's some days they come and they go to the different areas to get for food. Yesterday they were here, but I think they spent 2 days. When they are here, then they go to other areas.
Oh my
But they
word.
most like to be here because the environment is okay, it's conducive to even those they enjoy the beauty. They always be here, and they are friendly, by the way. They are friendly. If you have found them, you would have seen them. They are friendly. They don't fear people. I think they interact with people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So they are not bad creatures. We are friendly to them, and they know us.
That's
And
amazing.
even they are not harmful to guests. They give their respect. So they are good things. They are good creatures.
And do you work on your own here?
Sorry?
Are you on your own here? Or do you have a team that helps you?
No, we have a team.
So you have a team that helps you.
Yes, yeah, other than leaves.
And do they know a lot about the animals and that, like you do, and the flowers and the plants?
Sorry?
Do they know a lot like you do? Are they also from the area?
Yes. I do raking, like as I said, that I can say that I'm gardener.
Yeah. I think you're a botanist. I don't think you're a gardener. I think with all your knowledge of the animals and the insects and the spiders, I've no doubt you have a lot of spiders here, because I see there's a few webs around.
The good thing if you are a gardener, it's better to know those things, because
Absolutely.
yeah, it's better to know those things because the area where you work from, they are the dwellings of those insects.
Of those animals and those
Yes,
insects and everything.
Their dwellings. So you are responsible to know them, how they react, their way of life. You take a note about them. Another work I'm doing here, I'm also a pool attendant. And can also a plumber.
So you're everything. You
Yeah.
are a diamond in the rough.
This area has provided me with the different skills.
Yo.
So I like it so much because I'm now skilled in some areas like plumbing. I can do plumbings. Pool maintenance, I can do that. Gardener, can do that.
You look after the insects and the animals and the snakes and the...
Everything.
Just amazing. Benson, you're an incredible guy. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
I'd love to talk to you again because then I want to do a walk with you so you can explain to me what the frogs are that are here, which different types of frogs, snakes, and maybe we can do a walk a bit later and you can explain a few things to me.
Frogs, we have different frogs. There's we call it tadpoles. And the frogs itself, because we just know that it's a frog, but you have different...
Correct.
Yes.
So later on, are you going to take me for a walk and show me where they are?
By now, it is the sunny season.
Yes, but it's sunny season, so they hide.
In cold areas. Okay. Now they are back in water.
Okay.
Yeah, but when it's rainy season, there are many here.
Oh my word.
Yeah, there are many, even monkeys. But today, I don't know where they have gone. But this is their area.
This is where they come. They come to swim.
Most snakes, especially, it's green one. Yeah, green ones. When you are entering that forest,
okay,
there are many, but they are harmful. Those green ones, they can even walk on. They can even.
Oh my word.
Yeah, on your body without even harm. It's not harmful. So even if you see it, don't get shocked.
Oh, that's just easier said than done. Thank you, Benson. I think the next time I go to my room, I'm going to take you with me. I'm Janine Preston of The Real South Africa, having chatted to Benson, who's botanist, pool guy, gardener, looker after of all the insects and animals, the fauna and flora manager, I'm sure. And I look forward to having a walk with you later.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you with Janine from The Real South Africa. And of course we're in Uganda still, and being in Uganda means that we also got to visit Adrift. Adrift in Uganda is near Jinja, and it's one of the activity hubs of the country. In fact, it is the only activity hub because you can do everything here, from bungee to river rafting to what they call, when you sit in a tube, you can kayak. Can do pretty much a lot of things here, so it's really fun to visit. If you're in Uganda, you really should make a turn to Adrift. And today I'm talking to Rachel, and Rachel is the front office manager for Adrift, and she's the one who takes all your calls, does your bookings, and of course keeps her customers happy. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
So tell me a little bit about Rachel. I believe you had quite a journey here.
Rachel is a receptionist at Adrift.
You must talk a bit louder, because we can't hear you.
I'm a receptionist at Adrift Riverclub, as well as a client handler. I'm the one who receives all calls, and I receive clients upon arrival, direct them to where the restaurant is, take them to rooms, move them around, show them everything, talk, give them briefings about our activities. We make them love what we do.
And what is your personal journey? You started here, you weren't always the front office manager.
I started as a waitress. In fact, I started as a waitress. I started as a waitress at Adrift. And my manager saw the ability that I have. After 1 year, I was promoted as a receptionist, and I'm very happy to work with Adrift.
So that's pretty cool. So you come from the villages around here?
Oh yes, please. I come from Kasambia. I'm born in Kasambia.
Okay, so you kind of come. So you're from the area,
yes,
and
please.
did they recruit? Do they do recruitment in the area? Is there a big community drive here at Adrift? Do you work with the communities?
We do, please.
So what kind of things do you do with the community?
With the community, especially when you get clients here, we tell them about the village walks that we have. We do village walks with our English-speaking guides with our clients. We show them all the like the village African setting that we have. Most of the people we get come to Africa like they don't know what the real setting of the village is. So we take them around, we show them the plantations that we have around, and that money that comes out of the village walk helps the community itself.
So it goes towards the community as well?
Yes, please. It helps the community.
That's awesome.
And the girls. As well, we have pads that we sell. These pads are donating pads. Our clients buy them. But after buying them, that money itself helps the community because we don't use it. As well, sometimes the clients buy those pads, but they don't take them. They leave them for us. We take them to schools, to the young girls.
And that means they don't get to miss school, which is great.
Yes, please.
And what advice would you give to others who are wanting to get into the hospitality industry?
Sorry?
What advice would you give others who are wanting to get into hospitality?
The advice I give, like, maybe I don't get it.
The advice, what suggestion would you make to people wanting to come and do a job like yours?
Oh my goodness, I just advise everyone who has the ability to come and join, because this is the best, I can tell you. Like, I've experienced the best at Adrift.
And that's great, and it was really nice chatting to you.
Oh my goodness, it's a very nice opportunity that I was given. Imagine I'm born from Kasambia. Let me say, I'm born here. I've never moved to like big places, but the company gave me that chance to work for it.
That's wonderful.
It's a very big opportunity. I don't take it for granted.
Thank you so much for your time. I've been talking to Rachel, who's the front office manager for Adrift, the activity company of choice in Jinja. With Janine from the Real South Africa. We're sitting in reception, wonderfully cool place to be, at Adrift Riverclub. Having met most of the staff, and myself and Sasha have been talking over the phone, I now get to meet her in person. So welcome, Sasha. Your reservations, right?
Yes, thank you so much. I'm the reservations manager for both properties, World Hotels and Riverclub.
And tell me a little bit about you. Do you come from the area?
Yes, come from Jinja, just within the area, not very far from here.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And a little bit about reservations. Are you busy? I hope you lots of busy.
Currently, it's January, so I think people have been spending a lot. So we are coming from the high season, going to the low season. So currently, it's not that busy.
And what do they need to tell you when they want to make a reservation? What are the most important things that people need to know when making a reservation at an adventure camp such as Adrift?
Yeah, basically the things we need to know, because we need to know the nationality, we need to know the number of people coming in, the number of nights, because those are the things that helps us to quote accordingly.
And also obviously what you can eat, what you're allergic to, if you've got any issues with walking or disabilities, because being in an adventure camp, there may be challenges for people who have physical disabilities.
Yes. Basically that one has to come after your confirmation, especially the things of dietary requirements, because once you confirm your booking, that's when you can come into dietary requirements. In terms of disability also, that's when you have to check first, because you see our facility is not that friendly for disabled people, so those are key points to note as well.
And also probably when they're doing reservations, the most important thing to check is that it is indeed you that is offering that rate.
Yeah.
Because there are so many scammers out there that they need to know that you are for real.
Yeah.
And the only way they can do that is by calling you and saying, what is my reservation number?
Yes.
And checking that the number and the email address that they're being offered in fact matches yours.
Yes, correct. Basically what we normally advise all our clients is always to make a booking through an email, which is the official email, that is info@world-uganda.com. Yeah, because you know, at times you can just make a phone call and it's not really, you cannot track a phone call. So basically, once you have something written down, I think that's the best to go.
And they must check that the email has the right email address, correct?
Yes, a registered
And
email
what is your
address, yeah.
email address?
It's info@wildwaters-uganda.com.
Info@wildwaters?
Info@wildwaterslodge-uganda.com.
At Wildwaters Lodge.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sasha. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm
Nice
Janine
meeting you
from
too.
The Real South Africa.
Thank you.